Hey everybody, welcome back to PTPioneer, the best online resource to starting out and succeeding as a fitness professional. In today's video, we're going to take a look at everything you need to know about the CSCS exam. In today's video, we're going to take a look at what's inside the exam itself, what is the difficulty, and what are some common questions you might have about the exam. If you stick to the end, you should be a master at the CSCS exam. If you guys want to learn more about PTPioneer, check us out on our website. There's a lot of great information on how you can become a fitness professional. In addition to that, we also have a certification quiz you can check out on the main homepage that will allow you to understand what sort of certifications will be best for you. This is critical if you're going to be starting out as a fitness professional. If you need help studying, Trainer Academy has the best personal trainer certification study materials. They also offer an exam pass guarantee, so make sure to check out the link in the description below. Lastly, don't forget to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. This greatly helps out our channel and pushes our information out to aspiring fitness professionals. Now, if you've smashed the like button already, let's get right into the video. So the first part of this video, we're going to take a look at the CSCS exam breakdown. The CSCS exam is broken down into two sections. The first section has 80 scored and 50 non-scored questions, and all of these are multiple choice. The latest update to this part of the examination was January 31st, 2020. Section 2 covers 100 scored and 50 non-scored multiple choice questions. This covers 4 domains. With that, we're going to take a look at the January 2020 CSCS handbook as our guide. So going into the exam itself, section 1 covers 3 domains. Domain 1 covers exercise science, domain 2 covers sports psychology, and domain 3 covers nutrition. Domain 1, exercise science, will cover 55% of the exam or 44 questions. This will cover anatomy under musculoskeletal, neuromuscular, joints, and connective tissue, biomechanics, which includes muscle patterns, biomechanics, which also covers movement patterns, mobility, agility, and functional range of motion, and biochemical activity, which includes metabolism, energy pathways, and the endocrine system. Domain 2, which covers sports psychology, which covers 24% of the section score or 19 questions, will cover physiological techniques and knowledge to enhance training. Domain 3, which covers nutrition. This will cover around 21% or 17 questions. This will cover nutrition as it affects performance and general health, nutritional choices, diet-related psychology disorders, and all of this will be covered in 50 non-scored questions. Section 2 of the exam is going to be covering 125 questions, and this will be covering the other 4 domains. This will cover how you're taking the information from section 1 and applying it into creating programs for clients. This also covers the administrative side of operating as a personal trainer, and the following domains are listed as follows. Domain 4 will cover exercise technique. Domain 5 will go over how to design programs. Domain 6 tests organizational competencies, and Domain 7 will cover client testing. Domain 4 covers exercise technique, which covers 36 or 40 questions. This covers resistance, sprint, and plyometric training, energy systems and ATP cycles, metabolic training, and flexibility conditioning as well. Domain 5 will cover program design, which is going to be covering 35% or 38 questions. This covers information on creating programs for clients, training methods and modes for the client as well, understanding functional range and 1-rep max limits, and also covering warm-up and recovery protocols that are needed for the client. Domain 6 covers organization and administration. This will cover about 11% or 12 questions. This will cover all the relevant information necessary to run an effective business. This covers organizational structure and an administrative layout, also including legal and ethical standards. In this section, you'll also be covering insurance and bookkeeping. Domain 7 will be covering testing and evaluation. This will be covering 18% or 20 questions. This covers topics under selection and administration, testing methods, tools, and different protocols that are going to be applied. This last part will also be covering 15 non-scored questions. Now, in regards to the non-scored questions, these are 15 questions that are taken from each of the sections, and these will not be counted towards the final exam grade. This is primarily just used by the department to understand what are some new potential questions that they can use for future exams. While you're taking the exam itself, it's sort of dispersed and not indicated as to what questions are the non-scored questions. So you'll just go through the exam and answer them accordingly. Now, the next part that we're going to be covering is how difficult is the exam itself. The CSCS exam is going to be slightly more difficult than what you would expect for a normal personal trainer exam. At the current moment, it's one of the more challenging but better strength certifications. I would also recommend taking a look at Trainer Academy study materials in regards to the CSCS exam. There will be a lot of those, especially in regards to handling this difficulty. This certification is designed for training high-performance athletes. So naturally, this will be a lot more difficult and more detailed than the normal personal trainer certification. This is one of the main prerequisites to getting into pro athlete training. So naturally, this will require a lot of aptitude to condition and train high-performance athletes and collegiate athletes to higher performance. The two primary requirements for taking the examination are going to be if you have a bachelor's degree in exercise science or a relevant field, in addition to having a updated CPR AED certification. Some of the best ways to prepare for this exam is to have a prior certification already under NASM or ACE. A lot of these will cover some similar topics, so these are good starting certifications to have. In addition to that, if you are studying a degree in exercise science, this will give you an additional platform for more information on what is going to be covered in the exam itself. Naturally, if you also have prior experience to working with athletes, this is also a plus if you're going into taking the exam. I would also recommend looking into having a hands-on internship, something a bit more practical, where you are interacting and working with professional athletes. This will give you the relevant experience to understand what is going to be covered in the exam itself. And naturally, you would just need to have a well-rounded understanding of high-level exercise science, and that's primarily just done through very meticulous studying. So overall, it is going to be a very difficult certification to get and requires a lot of studying and goes beyond a basic certified personal trainer exam. Cool. Now that we're done with that, let's take a look at the CSCS exam pass rate. Overall, the pass rate will be roughly around 56%. So half of the students that will be taking this examination are most likely to fail. However, despite this, minimum passing marks for this examination is going to be at 70%. So you do still have a standard chance of passing the examination. If we take a look at some of the statistics for the CSCS examination, we can see that there is a 66% pass rate for scientific foundations, 67% pass rate for practical and applied information, and 56% as an overall pass rate for both of the sections. In the actual textbook itself, there are several practice questions that you can go through. Now, the essentials of strength training and conditioning is going to be your biggest help in terms of passing this examination. This also comes with some mini practice tests. Make sure that you're going in with the most up-to-date version of the textbook, that way you have the most relevant information. Naturally, theory and other concepts that you will be tested on are going to be continuously developed as time goes on, with newer research, more studies, and more information that's available. Third-party guides can also provide some relevant information. Now, even though the CSCS program doesn't actually offer any official practice tests, you can also find some practice tests over at the main article on PTPioneer.com. Now, let's go into more of the questions that are commonly asked about the CSCS exam. Question number 1, are there CSCS practice exams? Some available ones over at PTPioneer.com, but the actual program itself doesn't actually offer the practice exam. In addition to that, various resources such as the textbook do have some practice questions that will also help you in preparing for the examination itself. And you can also find some third-party exam prep over at Trainer Academy if you go check them out. Question number 2, what is the exam enrollment period? Just depending on when you're confident in taking the exam itself, you can just register for it. Now, just keep in mind, if you are feeling 100% ready for this examination, that is when I would recommend taking this exam. When you do register for it, you'll be given around 2 or 3 days to get the email confirmation. And then after that, you'll have about 120 days to take the actual exam. Question number 3, how many questions are on the CSCS exam and what is a passing grade? So in total, there are 220 questions in the entire examination, and in each of the sections that are going to be covered, there are 15 non-graded questions. Again, you must have a minimum score of 70% in order to pass the examination. Question number 4, where can you take the CSCS exam? So you can basically take the CSCS exam over at the nearest Pearson VUE Center. These are just mainly testing centers that hold the examination. There should be several nationwide locations if you do a little bit of research into it. Question number 5, what are the prerequisites for the CSCS exam? Again, hold a bachelor's degree, preferably in something related to exercise science, in addition to having a CPR AED certification. Question number 6, what happens if you fail the CSCS exam? With a little bit over a 56% pass rate, the failing of the examination is normally pretty common. So the retake criteria for the examination is that you wait 90 days to retake the exam from the last exam you took, you register online to retake within the 90-day time period. You don't need to resubmit your information on your AED CPR certification unless it's expired. And if you've only failed one section, you only need to retake that section. Question number 7, when do you receive your certificate after taking the exam? You can normally receive your certification in roughly around 6 to 8 weeks. Question number 8, how long is the CSCS certification valid for? The certification itself is going to be valid for roughly about 3 years. So prior to the 3 years ending, you will need to retake the examination again. You can petition for reinstatement of your certification if you provide some of the following information. If you provide all of your continuing education credits earned during the reporting period. Question number 9, how much does the exam cost? Now, the overall cost is going to be dependent on your NSCA membership status and whether you're retaking the examination. So in conclusion, this is one of the more challenging examinations you will be taking if you're going beyond the standard certification of a personal trainer. This is also the gateway to training high-performance athletes, which can also lead to a very lucrative training business. So despite the challenge that you'll be facing with taking the examination and what you might be facing with the studying materials, there is a potentially high salary at the end of the road. This is one of the more advanced training certifications that you can find. So if you are still looking for more information on which certification is right for you, make sure that you go to PTPioneer.com on the main homepage to take that quiz and understand which certification is right for you, especially if you are starting out. All of this information is just going to be linked in the description below. Let us know what are some other comments or additional questions that you might have in regards to the CSCS examination or the actual certification. Make sure to smash the like button if you haven't already. This helps out our videos and pushes this information out to aspiring fitness professionals. If you want to find out more information on personal trainer certifications, make sure to click the link over here, which will take you to the breakdown of the NASM CPT exam. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you guys have any questions, leave it in the comment below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.